Welcome one, welcome all to Max's Mic. I'm Max and I have the mic. Today's episode is the final prediction episode for the 2023-24 season. It is my Super Bowl predictions. So sit back, relax, and enjoy for the last time in the 2023-24 season. This year's Super Bowl will be between the Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. The Chiefs, led by Mahomes, looking to defend their Super Bowl winning ways, looking to win a second Super Bowl in a row after winning last year against the Eagles, looking to do it again. 49ers, on the other hand, now with Brock Purdy looking to rewrite history as they had lost to the Chiefs back in 2019, looking to beat them this time. Doing a quick tale of the tape. But before we do that, let's find out how these teams got here. The Chiefs, after managing to win the division due to the fact that the rest of the teams in their division are garbage, got to face the Miami Dolphins in the first round. And the Dolphins are, warm weather creatures, so they can't handle the cold. And the Chiefs easily walked right through them. Next, they had to go to Buffalo. And the Bills got a little overjoyed. Bills fans were all, yeah, we got this. We're going to win because it's at our place this time. And, Tyler Bass missed a field goal. While there were some questionable calls in this game, Chiefs, they still found a way to win. Then they went to Baltimore. And that's when things got a little hairy. Things got a little sketchy with a Zay Flowers taunting call. That, shouldn't have been a taunting call. Multiple missed obvious PIs on OBJ, and then the missed PI in the end zone on Isaiah Likely being interfered with that resulted in an interception and the inevitable end of the game. Now, had those calls been made or not been made, would have greatly changed the trajectory of this game. Would the Ravens still have beaten the Chiefs? I don't know. Would the Chiefs still have won? I don't know. But what I do know is that there were some bad calls. Could we see some more of this game in favor of the Chiefs? Most likely. Am I factoring that into my prediction? No. Why? Well, because you never know with the NFL who they want to win. So we'll find out who they want to win after the first quarter. Anyways, now let's move on to 49ers. 49ers looked really solid this year. Brock Purdy's second, really more like his first season, but we call it, I guess, a second season, second trip in the playoffs. And he struggled a little. He struggled a little in the playoffs, managing to beat the Packers after a very slow first half. And the same thing again against the Lions. While many Lions fans will say that the Lions beat themselves and the Niners didn't win that game, they may be right, but also the Niners had made the plays they had to make to win, and the Lions didn't. So that leads us to where we are today, or this weekend, excuse me. Tomorrow actually is the game between these two teams. So, tail of the tape. What we got going pound to pound against each other? Well, in the quarterback competition, we've got two quarterbacks, one more veteran, good, and another one that put up better stats than the more veteran quarterback. That is Mahomes and Brock Purdy. You've got the veteran Mahomes, who had for Mahomes standards, shaky season. And then you've got Brock Purdy, for Brock Purdy standards, a stellar season. However, the difference in stats is about 100 passing yards and a 2% completion percentage in favor of Brock Purdy. However, Mahomes is still by far the better quarterback. Looking at the running backs, throw that to the Niners. The quarterbacks to the Chiefs, running backs to the Niners. CMC, done. End of conversation. Death, taxes, and a Christian McCaffrey touchdown and a 100 rushing yard game. Got to add that to a 100 rushing yard game. All are inevitable, and that's what you get with CMC. Moving over to the tight ends, Kittle or Kelsey. Kels. Excuse me. Kittle, better blocking tight end. Kels, better receiving tight end. Kels, the better tight end. Throw that to the Chiefs. Receivers, Ayuk, Debo, practically no one. Throw that to the Niners. Front O-line, the trenches now we're getting in. I'm going to give it to both. They both have. I'm going to lean a little more to the Chiefs, but both teams have phenomenal offensive line. Just amazing front guys. Defensively, front seven, we'll give it to the Niners. Just because nobody wants to deal with Nick Bosa. Nobody. You don't want to be near that guy. He's a freak. He's scary when he's on the field. Anyways, now going into the secondary, giving that to the Chiefs. Looking at numbers, while numbers aren't everything, the Chiefs were just better. Numbers secondary-wise were just better against the pass this season. And that's all that needs to be said. We're going to the special teams. Give that to the Chiefs. And coaching, we'll include coaching. That'll go to the Chiefs too. So pretty balanced. Maybe leaning a little more in favor of the Chiefs. However, when you look at things as a whole, when you look at one-on-one matchups, Chiefs offense versus Niners defense, I think the Niners defense is going to win that matchup. Niners offense, Chiefs defense, I think the Niners will win that matchup as well. But this will be a relatively balanced game, relatively speaking. And I say that simply because this Chiefs defense is really good. Their offense has been lacking, which is ironic because last season it was the exact opposite. To a T. If you look at the spectrum of where the defense was last year, you were to mark that on a scale, and you were to mark where their offense is, and you were to flip those dots now, that'd be exactly where they are this season. Where the Chiefs' offense was last season is where their defense was, and where their defense was last season, Flip those spots. Now you've got where the Chiefs' offense is this season and where their defense is this season. It's quite ironic that during the regular season, the offense fell off. And even in the playoffs, besides that Dolphins game, I don't think the Chiefs have scored more than 20 points. I think they've scored 17 in both games. I think they scored more in that Super Bowl than they have in the last two games that they've played. It's crazy. And it's incredible how Travis Kelce can go out there and do his average thing and go and get 100 receiving yards on 10 receptions of 14 targets and score 2 touchdowns. And everyone's losing their mind that it's such a crazy feat. And yes, while that is a crazy feat, guess what? That's what Kelce averages in the last 3-4 years when Mahomes is his quarterback. He is a phenomenal tight end. We're talking he could be a Hall of Famer. I believe it, and many other people do too. He is that good. And yet, after having a terrible season, especially to anyone's standards, and now all of a sudden playing at such a high level in the playoffs, everyone's losing their minds. I'm just giving him a nice golf clap. Good job. Good job at playing how everyone expected you to play during the regular season. So now let's get into the keys for each team. For the Niners, don't let Mahomes scramble. Contain him. When Mahomes gets to use his legs, that's when the big plays come. Now, another key is know your coverages. I talked about it when talking about last week with the Bills-Chiefs game, how there was a blown coverage that left a wide-open Kelce for a 33-yard touchdown. You got to contain Mahomes. I feel like that's number one, contain Mahomes, especially when you've got a good secondary that this Niners team has. You've got to contain him because the secondaries can only defend for so long. Eventually, someone's going to end up open, and Mahomes is just going to let it rip, or he's going to take off running. On the other hand, for the Chiefs, It's got to be tackling. Tackling, especially in open field. Ayuk, Debo, CMC can all break a tackle, make a juke. Kittle can run through you, and you cannot let them get away because when they take off, they're gone. They're gone. They're in the end zone. You miss that tackle, and he will already be behind you by the time you can get back up off your knees, off the ground. By the time you stand back up on your feet, they're already gone because you missed the tackle. And you do not want to be, if you're on the Chiefs defense, you do not want to be the person that missed the tackle that led to a touchdown because there's going to be a lot of times where broadcasters will be like, "Oh, if he broke that tackle, he's gone." You got to make sure that you don't let up on the tackle because it could go either way. Oh, if he made that tackle, it's a big stop there. Or, oh man, if he misses that tackle, that's a touchdown. Make the stops. So here we go. Let's get into my predictions. Who's going to win? What's the final score going to be? Now, while I've been praising both of these teams' defenses, it's the Super Bowl. And Mahomes is going to show up. You know who's also going to show up? Mr. Clutch, Mr. Irrelevant. That's right, Brock Purdy's going to step up too. And I feel like these defenses might get torched a little, especially early on. I wouldn't be surprised if scoring starts creeping up a little. Maybe up 17-10 at half. Looking at like a touchdown lead. But I think the Niners will win. The 49ers will win by a score of 27-24. Not on a game-winning field goal. On a game-winning stop. And denying the Chiefs from getting into field goal range. To close out and win the game 27-24. That is, bearing any ridiculous penalty calls that will find a way to give the Chiefs the win. Please, NFL, do not break this game. Let them play the goddamn game. Make the obvious calls, refs. But don't be stupid. And obviously, before I end this, I have to make it clear, yes, there will be missed holding calls. You cannot call every holding play. There is a hold on every play. The obvious ones have to be called. But there's a little tug. There's a little tug in there, and the refs are going to let them get away with it. Why? Because no one's going to be able to score if you're calling a hold on every single play. It's just not going to happen. So yes, don't complain about the holding calls because they're going to be missed. But you don't want to know what does deserve a complaint? Pass interference calls. Yes, let them fight. Let them be a little handsy. But if you're deliberately pushing or holding on a guy and not allowing them to reach out to get to the ball or stop short to get to the ball, that should be called. This has been my final prediction episode of the 2023-24 NFL season. I hope you enjoyed. Get excited because it's baseball season coming up. I'll also start making some hockey and NBA playoff predictions. So get ready. A lot more content coming soon, especially my off-season breakdown and my MLB season predictions. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'm Max on Max's mic. Take care and have a great day. Goodbye.